What's up everyone, I'm Ari, Creative Director here at Heavyocity, and in this video I'm going to go over how I composed an intimate yet bold string-driven track in the style of Max Richter meets Hans Zimmer. It's epic, it's cinematic, but it uses our product Ostinato Textures to really drive home that kind of parlor, hear the rosin on the bow string sound. Let's take a listen and then we'll dive right in. Here we go. Alright, so first up, I started with a hybrid preset from Ostinato Textures. Let me pull that up here. So rather than just playing a straight pattern, I decided to load this threads of violin, which is 3 different articulations that kind of play against each other, and they bounce off left and right to build these really cool, more complex patterns. So if I solo just the left here, and we can take a look at the first channel. I'm using the cycle engine to re-trigger so that I can play on the offbeat. Now, that's panned a little bit left, and then we have channel 2 and 3, which are panned right. Channel 2 is also using the cycle engine to re-trigger and kind of move around, just at a faster rate. So you get this almost like feathery tick, 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 tick kind of thing going on. And the third channel, which is the ticking 16ths, just kind of pedaling along and moving that momentum forward. So all together, that sounds. So the ostinatos are really building this tension and movement. The chord progression is C minor with a kind of transition to the major 7th in there, to A flat minor. So you have this really unnerving, kind of unwieldy progression that really edges up that uneasy feeling. Underneath that is a really cool, one of my favorite presets in Ostinato Textures. This preset called Desolate Warehouse, where some of the articulations have pre-built-in bends that the performers recorded in while they were playing the articulation. And we took those, moved the start times, and we ended up with this. Very unnerving. Really, really cool, and really kind of set the mood for the track. So if we solo just the hybrid stuff at the start. Rhythms come in. Starts kind of setting the scene a little bit. It creates this environment that feels intimate but open at the same time. And then supporting that, I have percussion kind of ticking away underneath to keep it moving. So you have these 16th notes just pedaling away with accents on some of the offbeats. Underneath those 16th note staccatos helps move things along. Now the intimate and really close nature of Makita matched so well with Ostinato Textures. It feels like everything is right here in front of you. The strings are here. The percussion from Makina is here, and it leaves all this space for the vocals in the background to speak. So if we check out what is happening with Makina, on top of that, I have a melody coming in using Vocalese 3. We have a phrase that's playing. And it resolves here, coming up at 9, into the major chord. So we have this C minor into A flat minor, back to C minor, into E flat major, which gives this kind of lovely, warm resolve, especially with it playing with the ostinato texture from the violin on the top part. So we can start right there. And then right there we get into this B section where everything kind of pulls back in and gets a little more intimate. It's not as big. There aren't these big chords. The chordal structure comes back together from being so wide apart. And it starts with one of my favorite textures from Ostinato Textures, flautando sixteenths. We recorded the violinist dragging their bow all the way across the neck and then continuing until you get to the actual note coming out. It's a really, really cool sound. So in this B section here, you have the viola and the violin playing fairly open chords, starting with A flat major, inverted, with a suspension on top. And right into, at 15 here, the resolve back to C minor where percussion comes in. I'm using the Armageddon Ensemble 2 from Damage 2, which you just can't beat. It's epic, punchy, thumpy, and doesn't get in the way of the rest of the stuff going on. I have them panned a little closer in on the stage so that it leaves the room for all that space on the outside. I start bringing in more orchestration. The articulations change over time in Ostinato Textures, which again is kind of leading the charge here with the movement. It's keeping that intimacy, it's keeping those strings close to you while maintaining that open space for an epic kind of cinematic track. I have an ARP on the piano right here that's coming in. It's a simple ARP that keeps things close together. So if we solo that, just a nice supportive sound. And there's a really nice part here in the orchestration where the brass imitate the motif that's moving in the strings, but at a faster rate. Also underneath, I have the Moog Minotaur just pulsing away, that typical trick. Have a nice simple bass line playing here. Really thumpy, really deep, supportive. In Ostinato Textures, we have cello, violin, viola, but there is no bass on the bottom end, so adding this in really fills out that low frequency range. And the Minotaur is awesome. It's such a good sounding analog synth. Also at that part, opening up, we have all the percussion coming in. We have metal buckets playing. We have these flams into the beats, these impacts, these hits that happen. And the taiko specifically are the thing that really got me here, where it maintained the intimacy of the strings, almost echoing that sentiment in the drums, where a taiko drum has such a close feel to it, but also big and epic and boomy, but tight on the top end. And those transients that come out are so thumpy, and it really matched well to go along with that rosiny bow kind of parlor string sound. So all together here, layering in all these parts, it's big, it's grandiose. We still have that closeness of the strings. Those horns playing in the background are what help open it up and feel more Hans-ish, less Max Richter-ish. And then it comes back into 23, where that really chugging along vibe comes in with the ostinatos. So that's the track. I hope you enjoyed. I had a blast playing with it. That really intimate sound is wonderful. It's so easy to play with. It's so easy to fit in to this kind of a track. It really speaks while providing that space and depth to make an epic cinematic style track without losing that intimacy, which really in today's scoring is becoming much more of a trend. Be sure to click subscribe below if you haven't already, join our mailing list, check us out at heavyocity.com, and check out Ostinato Textures at heavyocity.com/ostinato-textures. Thanks for watching. See you next time.